car. It's a little bit understated,
Except
but
for
it's
the grill and
interesting to
taillight
see.
housing.
84 Chevy Monte Carlo SS.
Behold.
Okay, I wonder what this is about. We definitely had these in the U.S.
The 1984 Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS. It looks like the US model,
Mexican
but it's
version.
not.
What?
It's a Mexican special and had lots of subtle differences. If we compare the Mexican version and the US,
Okay. They look like they are definitely the same car. Okay. Differences. Doors, door handles the same, windows the same. They even got the same markers, right? Amber and red and back. I mean, wheels and tires are different. Tires don't even count because people can swap those. Assuming these are the stock wheels. I mean, obviously the wheels are different. Look at there. Look at that. The Mexican version is very interesting. The wheels, they're kind of cool. God, I can't really tell any other differences. Wow.
version, the differences begin to materialize.
No rear spoiler,
Oh.
checkerboard pattern alloy wheels, minimal side graphics, and plain Jane mirrors.
Oh, yeah, less graphics. It just has the Monte Carlo SS. No striping at all. Yeah, and it is a different mirror. I like the US mirror better. It looks a little more legit. Spoiler doesn't matter to me. I mean, the spoiler is subtle, so I guess I'd prefer it with the spoiler, but it doesn't look bad without it.
Moving inside, we can see that the steering wheel is
Oh,
different.
dude.
There's no center console, no power windows, and the dashboard is from a Pontiac Grand Prix.
Don't tell me these came in freaking manuals. Are you serious? No, we never got that. By
The best
then.
part is that awesome 4-speed Hurst shifter that tells you this car means business.
Oh, hell yeah.
So that's the Mexican Monte Carlo SS.
That's cool.
A rare and awesome machine that Chevy made for 1 year only.
I dig it. Now, seeing the wheels and then knowing it's a stick shift, that's freaking awesome, dude. Because, of course, we had manual transmission muscle cars, right? In the 60s, 70s. They were still more rare, but they were out there. But by this body style, I mean, we're talking mid-'80s here, right? That was getting hard to find already, especially in a Monte Carlo SS. I don't think we ever had that. So for this, year range, that's
Maybe
very
they had some extra
interesting.
parts that they needed to use up. Or maybe they just love Mexico. Either way, it's a cool car that deserves respect.
Yeah, they got a cooler version, honestly. Whoa, Chevrolet Opala?
Opala, a name that the Brazilian Chevrolet marketing department came up
Brazil.
with for this small
Wow.
car that seems to be a mashup of Opel and Impala.
It was derived from the European Opel Rexford and debuted in the Brazilian market in 1969 and was sold there until 1992 and had absolutely nothing to do with the US Chevrolet Impala. Throughout its
Interesting.
model run, the Opala was
I mean, it looks a lot smaller than Impala, so yeah, definitely not the same car. It's obviously the slightly different name anyway. This is from Brazil. This is very interesting list so far.
available in sedan, coupe, and station wagon iterations.
Wow, I like the
The
wagon.
performance version was the SS variant with
Look
its
at that.
aggressive and sporty exterior styling and graphics, 4-speed manual transmission, and 4.1-liter 6-cylinder engine that grew in power from 140 horsepower in
Wow.
1970 up to
Okay, that version looked real neat.
153 horsepower in
Look at that.
1976.
Holy smokes.
No, we didn't get this one here in the land of Chevelle and Impala SSs, but maybe
Yeah,
we should have. Hasn't
I actually like the chassis on this. I like the size of it. The body looks nice. Now, of course,
Transmission.
I'm sure it's actually a fun car, and that engine looks cool in there. I love old engines, regardless of what they are. But of course, it is an inline six, so I know this car is a lot smaller than a lot of U.S. muscle cars. I know it's lighter, so it probably scoots. Yeah, but then when he shows these, I mean, look at that Chevelle. That thing is a beaut. And remember, when we're talking old muscle cars, of course I love them all. Like, who doesn't? I mean, they're just awesome. It was just an amazing era. But I mean, I am more of like a diehard Mopar guy. And even as a Mopar guy, I mean, this Chevelle is just something else, right? It's so mean, it's so iconic, and that thing's got a humongous power plant, right? You had quite a few choices, and they were all pretty awesome. So in that case, I know it's not a direct comparison, but I'd take the Chevelle over something like this personally. I mean, just the engine choice alone, right? But I do like this. It's very interesting, right? It is kind of neat. I wonder if it would have been cool if they had a small, like a really small V8 in here. Like if they could have shoehorned one in, that would have been
Or in
neat.
1976.
The Dodge Super Bee was a legendary American muscle car from the 1960s and early 1970s. That
Right.
was one of the quickest factory cars ever to devour the quarter mile.
God,
It
they
was
look
also
so
quick to
good.
devour fuel and tires and make its owners' wallets cry like a baby.
Fuel was cheap back then, man.
Let's go down south and see what the Mexican version of the Super Bee looked like. Nope, not like this.
I mean, this is an American version. Damn. Damn.
Like this.
Ooh, okay, Mexico. Wow. Okay.
It looked nothing like the US B-body version at all.
Wow.
In fact, it was based on the A-body Chrysler platform of the Dodge Dart and Plymouth Duster.
Right.
Debuting in Mexico in 1970, this car was called the Valiant Super Bee, a sporty trim level
Pretty
of the
neat.
Valiant Duster. During the first half of the 1970s, it could be had with a 318 cubic inch engine good for
Okay.
270 horsepower.
Okay, there you go. We still got V8 in this one. Now, granted, it's a smaller one. 318, it's a workhorse. It'd be reliable. You know, they're great motors. They made them absolutely forever, like into the early 2000s, I think. Absolute workhorse of a motor.
Why they didn't
But not big on power, though. I mean, considering you could get a 318 in smaller cars, but, you know, so a lot of cars here, you would have been able to get a 360. You know, you would have for sure gotten like a 383 or a 426 Hemi, a 440 big block, you know. So, again, I'm seeing a lot more smaller engines, which I guess I'm not surprised, right? We had the big engines here, and I still think that plays a part, right? It almost sets the muscle car scene here apart a little bit as just like the big, bad muscle, you know?
call this the Spanish equivalent of the Super Bee is a mystery to us. But then in
Super
1975, things got spicy. They upgraded to a 360 cubic inch
Okay.
engine that cranked out 300 horsepower.
There we go. That's a
more
little
than
better.
any Duster in the U.S. could ever have dreamt of at the time.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive now. So you do take this smaller chassis, right? This is of course smaller than a Charger, smaller than the Coronet. Taking that into account, this is smaller than a lot of the U.S. muscle cars. This thing would have scooted for sure. I think this would have been a hell of a fun car to drive. Having that little more of a tighter chassis, a little bit smaller, and it has these good looks to it. And the 360 under there's now that's pretty big for this car, so that's more like it, right? You don't need the 440 in here. Like this 360 would be fun. So this is pretty cool. I did not
So
know
if you
about
wanted
these.
a real A-body factory hot rod in the 1970s, you had to go south of the border and get yourself a Mexican Super Bee.
Very interesting. Acadian what?
We go back to Canada during the 1960s for the Acadian Canso.
Wow.
This one sort of looks like a Chevy 2 from the 1960s,
Yeah.
but something is a little off. First, there's the front grille, which appears
Pontiac.
Pontiac-inspired,
Yeah, I
with
was
the
I
center
was gonna say, it
portion
looks like a
splitting it
Pontiac.
into two halves. Moving around back, the taillights weren't spiked from the Chevy 2, but seem to be unique to the Canso.
Wow.
The exterior trim and badging is also exclusive for the Canada-only Canso. Unlike the American Chevy 2, the Canso wasn't available with the high-performance SS option. Don't feel sad for our Canuck brethren, though. They could still outrun a moose with their own Canso high-performance option, the Sport Deluxe, or SD. If you had enough loonies to spare, the SD was available with the L79 327 cubic inch 350 horsepower V8
Damn.
straight from the Corvette.
Now that's interesting, right? Cool tidbit at the end about the engine. 327 in that car. That is interesting. But other than that, you know, even the American version, right? The Chevy 2 and all that, the Novas, like these don't really do anything for me. So nothing against the car, and I'm sure a lot of people love these, and that's fine. These, yeah, this one doesn't do much for me at all.
Straight from the Corvette.
Whoa, Chevrolet SS, that's it? Just SS? Wow, from South Africa. Holy smokes. This is interesting.
This car is from
dude.
South Africa in the early 1970s.
What?
It's actually a rebadged and slightly redesigned Holden Monero HG.
There you go. Wow, South Africa beat us to it. We had a rebadged Australian Holden Commodore come over here in what would have been 2013 or 14,